Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Friday edition of the Auburn Blitz. Glad that you've joined us out there. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee. Man, it's been a minute since we've been on this one together.
Yes. Saturday morning show, we're on a lot together.
Right.
So we're a day early for this one.
Right.
But to just talk Auburn football, because we've been leading into high school football, and look, you don't have to get you or I, either one, started to go on an hour-and-a-half rant when it comes to high school football.
That's
so the idea that I'm about to talk for 1 hour about Auburn football and Auburn athletics could be interesting.
Here we go. We're going to dive right in. You can comment away on Facebook Live, Sports with a Z, on the Facebook page out there, and a lot of you do that. And we appreciate that every single day. Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, and Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, our three partners here on the program that bring it to you every single day. We'll talk more about them throughout the program, as we always do, but couldn't do the program without them. You can always do it the old-fashioned way, too, and call us, 256-234-6221. Our good friend Jason Caldwell will be on at 12:36 like he is on most Fridays. Looking forward to hearing from him. A possibility of DeQuavius Story from Florida announcing his commitment like right now. Will he choose Auburn, Alabama, Florida, or Miami? He's a four-star wide receiver, number 188 player in the country. We need some guys. So, DeQuavius, let me go ahead and tell you, come on down. We can use you for sure. But he'll be making a commitment here in just a little bit. We'll try to get some live updates. And if you guys, while we're on the air, get some information before we do, please share it with us. We'd love to do that as well. But could be Auburn's 8th pickup for the year. So we'll see what happens. We need some players.
Would be a good one. Anybody within the top 300 players in the country, and this one's 188, is a great get for Auburn at this point.
Four too, so.
Yeah, got a lot of good offers out there, and Jason Caldwell was on the road last night over at Crampton Bowl and saw two recruits that Auburn's after as hard as I can remember us being after many in a long, long time, because we know what kind of big-time gets those would be. Now, whether we close the gap on those two Carver stars, I don't know. But he was over there and got some great footage. And, my gosh, whatever that was running off the edge. Russaw.
That's Russaw. That's quite Russaw.
I knew it was. But to watch him on film is something to see.
Yeah, he's the 5th player in the state, and James Smith is number 1.
Okay, so James Smith better be really good if he's better than what I just saw come off the edge last night.
Imagine having those two on your defensive line in high school, much less in college. So anyway, again, some top recruits still left out there. Auburn needs to try to seal the deal on some of these guys. And I was on Gary Harris's show this morning in Tuscaloosa, and that's one of the things we talked about. The best thing for Auburn to do at this point right now is for the season to start, and that happens next week. The only way you're going to be able to change the mindset and the mentality around the program is to get on the field and win. I know we're going to talk a lot about the quarterback position today. Depth chart will be announced Monday. Brian Harsin came out and said that he will release the full depth chart. Now, that can be a trick question or a tricky deal there, because we've seen depth charts get announced and then you have 1A, 1B up there at the top with quarterbacks. I do think it's T.J. Finley. I do think it's Robbie Ashford second, and then Zach Calzada is a third guy in the quarterback room. And Randy, from some things that I was told last night by some pretty reliable sources, that Zach Calzada basically tried to leave last week and get in the portal, but they talked him into staying. So it's just not good for him right now. He just, whatever has not transitioned. Gary and I talked about it this morning. Save a couple of, Stephen Garcia moments he had last year for Texas A&M. He didn't really do much there.
Well, I don't know what was expected. I know he had an opportunity to be the starting quarterback at Texas A&M, and maybe you spin that in a direction that anyone coming from Texas A&M should be the starting quarterback at Auburn at this point in time with Bo Nix going on. But you know, you look at his high school stats, you look at the ranking that he was coming out of high school. He was wanted, but he wasn't wanted any more than these two guys.
No, that's right.
And I would say Robbie Ashford's right there of his equal. I do think it'll be T.J. Finley, and we'll have a whole segment to talk about that. But nonetheless, I'm not surprised to see and hear this. I've watched enough from Zach Calzada to know that he has the potential to be an above-average quarterback, but he's not a guy that comes in and you go, oh, my gosh, Kyler Murray just walked on the campus, and we're going to turn over the reins to this guy from Texas A&M and see if we can turn this thing around. No, I don't think anyone really expected that. We just all spun it because so many of us had seen a lot of T.J. Finley last year, and the easy route to go was to go, all right, we got a Texas A&M guy that played a lot last year, beat Alabama, buy into that storyline. He's going to come to Auburn, and, of course, he's going to be the starting quarterback, and it just hasn't played out that way.
No, it hadn't. Battled some all-season surgery issues and his non-throwing shoulder, but, you know, he's had every opportunity to jump in there at this point. He hasn't been able to even solidify the number 2 spot. By all indications, it's Robbie Ashford. A lot of people feel like maybe by mid-year it could be Robbie Ashford's job, unless T.J. Finley just blows everybody away and we see a mass improvement from what we saw even in the spring, which wasn't much more than what we saw at the last part of last year when T.J. Finley had to come in. And I'll say one more thing about Calzada. You know, and we all kind of got sucked into that, and he's transferred, and we see all this transfer portal stuff. But he was the quarterback all year last year when Haynes King went down early in the season. And you would have thought that, okay, if he was up to par, then Jimbo Fisher would not allow him to transfer and leave.
I said that to you.
That's right. So he ends up leaving. So it obviously wasn't that big a deal for Jimbo Fisher. Now, they go out and get a guy from LSU that transfers in that you and I watched and didn't think he was all that good. So, you know, it's just it's kind of a merry-go-round of guys flopping around and going different places. And, you know, you're hoping you throw something against the wall sometimes and it sticks. I think LSU, they had another quarterback leave, so their quarterback room has shrunk down tremendously. Texas A&M really doesn't know who they've got. I mean, is Haynes King going to be the guy to step back in there off this injury? Will one of the transfers work for them? There's a lot of teams in SEC this year going in that have question marks at quarterback.
Always are. And with the transfer portal, the way that it is, that if you aren't the man within a year or two, you get out. You're not willing to sit in there and fight and wait your time. And when your time comes around, like Mac Jones, you're going to go out there and be successful. Too many guys are looking for greener pastures in the near term. And I think Zach Calzada clearly is that guy. And if he's at his second program and he's struggling to win a job outright, I think more is to be said about that situation than anything else. I will say this before we go on throughout the show. You know, every year – I'll call a spade up to a couple of weeks before the season.
Right.
A couple of weeks before the season, I'm an Auburn fan, man. It's time to be an optimist and tip your hat to this coaching staff and say they've seen them. I haven't. They've made decisions. They think they're going to put us in the best position. I can read into Auburn and look and see that we've got a pretty decent amount of talent. I think we've got 3 or 4 good pros on this team. And if the other pieces come together, this team can be a really good team. Now, do I think that they're going to go at the end of the year and beat Georgia and Alabama? No, that's not what I'm saying, but I can be very happy with 8 or 9 wins throughout this season. So everything you're going to hear from me leading into these first few games, which thank the Lord they're against 2 teams that we ought to take to the woodshed, is let's just sit back and wait. And I have had the good fortune of calling and seeing Robbie Ashford games. And I like his athleticism. I like his mobility. I like the things he brings to the table. Now, if T.J. Finley is the starting quarterback when the Penn State game comes around, we'll see. I'll have to have seen a lot of improvement for me to think that Auburn's going to go from 6 or 7 wins to 8 or 9 wins based off of what I saw from him last year. But if Robbie Ashford's won that job by then, I've seen enough of him over the years to go, I can believe that. I think he can do some things that win the SEC.
Well, that should also make a statement that this coaching staff feels really good. Keeshaw and Harsin feel good about the progress he's made in a short amount of time. Yes. And then you add in the athletic ability. He's the most athletic of the guys in the room, no question. So you got to really feel like, man, you know, they feel good about it. Auburn fans should feel good about it moving forward. And we see that happen almost all the time, every season, where a quarterback comes in and takes the reins a few games in. So excited to kind of see how that plays out and what the end result will be. But I think you're right. I think you just have to, at this point in time, you're about to enter game week. The dust is going to settle on Monday on where everybody's going to be as far as depth chart wise. So let the chips fall where they may at this point. Offensive line, I think everybody needs to understand that Nick Brahms probably is not coming back. They haven't officially announced that, but we have pretty good sources that let us know. And then you can tell by what they're saying he's not going to be back. So it's going to be Tate Johnson or Brandon Council at center. And so what everybody also needs to understand is most everybody on that offensive line has had multiple surgeries. So tip your hat for them coming back. There is a lot of experience. This is a veteran line, but they're very susceptible to injury. And I think it's unrealistic to think that you're going to go through an entire 12-game season and not have some injuries on the front.
So you better be deep. And if you're to read into this positive about Tate Johnson, the thing that is positive is since Nick Brahms has gone down, most of the talk has been around him taking the snap. So he must be doing good enough that the coaching staff's watching him going, okay, I think he can do the job. Yeah. I'm not too concerned that he can't hold his own, and that should maybe say something about what they're seeing in practice.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're just getting started here on the Auburn Blitz. You got some comments coming in. We'll get to those here in the next segment. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Concrete Basement and Walls LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls LLC.
Truckloads of fresh inventory are rolling in to Glenn Smith Buick GMC in Opelika. Right now, get GMC Acadias up to $4,000 off. Buick Envisions up to $5,000 off. And GMC Sierras up to $6,500 off. Or choose 0% financing.
We have hundreds of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs on the lot or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you for 45 more minutes left in today's show. And as normal, it just seems like we always happen to be on the air when good news happens. Four-star wide receiver DeQuavius Sorey of Chipley, Florida, has committed to the Auburn Tigers, choosing Auburn over Alabama, Florida, and Miami in his top four. That officially just came across about 2 minutes ago. So Auburn picks up a big-time receiver, top 25 nationally, national receiver, top 200 overall player in the 24/7 composite. So, once again, another quality sign for Auburn, or quality commitment for Auburn in this class. Now, again, the numbers aren't anywhere near where they need to be, but if my count's correct, the 8th commitment, 7 4-stars and 1 3-star in this class. So, I mean,
solid, man. And, I think signs are pointing to Auburn understanding a little bit that maybe they aren't going to close. I hope we close on a couple of these big names. But even if we don't, we're trying to sway some 4-star type guys that are committed elsewhere that may want to be in the SEC. And I think we're getting our word out there. And I have a sense
that – and if you win, and if you went on the field this year, you start swinging some momentum in your direction. So, that's one of the things that we talked about. David said yesterday he doesn't remember a season ever being so much relying on the success of one season or recruiting class more than this season here. So let's go to the phone lines. Caller, go ahead. You're on the Auburn Blitz.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
What's going on, Charles? How are you, buddy?
Hey, where's my boy Andy at? He must be on vacation down in the Bahamas.
No, he's not. I think that's where he'd love to be. He's a little under the weather this week. I talked to him yesterday. He's feeling a lot better. So he should be back in action. Basically what David said yesterday is he's just resting up for game week. He just said he was sick, but he's resting up for game week. But no, he'll be back with us next week.
Yeah, T.J. Finley was down in Columbus last night at Restream Motorsports signing autographs for $20 a piece. You reckon he made any money?
Depends on how many people were in line.
He was trying to get money to pay his restitution or whatever, I guess, trying to get away from the police down there.
Well, maybe he won't have any more issues with the law. I hope not.
Yeah. I don't think he'd get too many people paid $20. He might have to pay people $20 for his autograph.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, okay. Y'all have a good one, War Eagle.
Thank you, Charles. Appreciate it, War Eagle. Again, don't know. Hey, nowadays you can go out and with this NIL stuff, and you can go do whatever you want to do. Try to make money doing whatever you can to get endorsements or promote any business out there. Starting to see it trickle into high school now in a lot of places.
Well, big likable personality, seems like someone that the teammates gravitate to when I watch him. And so I hope he plays well this year. All of us have our doubts, but, if he can be more accurate, then he can be successful. He's a big, strong-armed guy, but, mobility is going to be the issue unless this offensive line has improved tremendously. So we'll see. At least we have solid options behind. I hope T.J. Finley starts every game, and is SEC Player of the Year like Jason Campbell was.
Well,
because I thought the exact same thing about
took,
Jason Campbell that I think about TJ Finley.
That's exactly where I was going with it. You took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say the one thing that stays in the back of my mind is that Jason Campbell had a shaky 2 to 3 years before, man, he bust onto the scene in 2004 with Al Borges, and he finally got in a system that worked for him. And maybe Eric Keesaw and this group is what he needs. Maybe this is the level of comfort that he has now, a year under his belt. You know, you also got to go back and say that. He didn't start until the very end of the year, and only because Bo Nix was hurt. And I don't know how much of the offense he had grasped and how comfortable he was. He had a chance to make some plays in the Alabama game, and he didn't make them. You know, we were just one drive away from putting the game away, and he just could not make a play. And then you go to the bowl game, and Lord knows we had opportunity after opportunity to win that game, and just couldn't move the football. So in fairness to the Auburn fans and the naysayers out there with TJ Finley, that's the lasting impression they have. And then you fast forward to the A-Day game, and he makes a couple spectacular throws. And then on 3rd down and 5 on a little hitch route, he throws it 10 yards over his head. And it's like, you can't do that in this league. When you have to make a throw, the throws you have to make with your eyes closed, you got to make them. And if you're off, your accuracy's off, you're not going to win football games in this league. So, okay, so everybody kind of gets an opportunity. TJ Finley will have the opportunity to hush all those people up, and those people that are saying he's not good enough will have a chance to see if he's gotten better. So, and if he's gotten better, it's all good for all of us. If he's the same TJ Finley we've seen, probably not going to be so good, and we're probably going to see it Robbie Ashford sooner than later.
I do feel like the backups this year are better than we've had in years past. I think that the ceiling, let's put it that way, the ceiling for the backups this year is better than we've had in years past. And that's based solely on the ability to go out there in the transfer portal and get someone that's probably not going to be the starter in the near term. Could be a starter long term if they'd wait enough, but not going to be the starter in the near term. And your ability to bring them in, whereas in years past they would have had to sit a year and they would have been behind. So Auburn's got 2 solid backups, whether Zach Calzada stays on campus or not.
You really feel good about, if somebody goes down, the next guy up's going to be pretty good, gives you a chance.
Agree.
And so that's all you can ask for. Let's get some comments in. John Paul said, so far for the month of August, how is Auburn looking like in recruiting? Well, funny you ask that. They just pick up a big 4-star out of Florida, DeQuavius Sorey, while we've been on the air. He picked Auburn over Florida, Miami, and Alabama. So when you got those schools in your top 4 and you win against those schools, that's the kind of player that you want. Ty said, sorry I didn't make it last week. Looking forward to meeting both of you, but I watched the game. I think Wildcats could have put 70 points on Sylacauga if they wanted to. Good luck against Clay County tonight. He said the only thing of concern to me is the depth of the offensive line and depth of the linebackers. I believe 8 and 4 is his pick. We got some other comments coming in. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will get to those as well as some other things. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new, convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here on this Friday. It is High School Football Friday, and it's always exciting times. Boy, this show rolls on by. We'll blink, it'll be December now. The football season started, and Auburn gets started next week against Mercer at home. Talking about the depth chart, talking about the new commitment Auburn just got from DeQuavius Sorey. We just saw a little bit of his signing ceremony with his teammates in the background from Chipley, Florida, and he kind of went through the hat game. You don't see the hat game much anymore. You know, these guys have pretty much gotten to the point where they'll just come on out and commit and move forward, but he had a signing ceremony, and he put the Alabama hat on first, and then he went to the Florida hat, and then the Miami hat, and then ended up putting the Auburn hat on. And a good pickup. Jason Caldwell will be on the next segment, so we'll get to catch up with him, let him talk about DeQuavius Sorey and some other things that are going on as we lead into game week. You can give us a call, 256-234-6221 to be part of the program. Some other comments coming in. Brian said Sorey to Auburn. Yep, that's for sure. Patrick said, I'm surprised Calzada wanted to transfer. You know, again, in this quarterback room, I think probably he felt like coming from Texas A&M, knowing what we all knew, that he probably would be a guy that might have the leg up, and since practice has started, he hadn't. So we'll kind of see. And you alluded to this. We hadn't really seen a lot of videos of T.J. Finley throwing or Robbie Ashford throwing, but every time we looked on Twitter and Instagram, it was a Zach Calzada highlight reel in practice, and everybody bragging on him. And, man, look at this throw, and look at these drills and all that. So the momentum to name Zach Calzada the starter was there. He just didn't get it done, obviously.
Well, I think it was the momentum of people like you and myself that the next practice we go and watch will be the first. It's very easy to sit up here and do what we do and listen to people that talk. And when you don't have access
this is
to
on
watch,
Auburn's Instagram page, though.
Yeah.
This is the official football page.
Yeah, that they're showing him throw.
Right. But they're not showing the other ones throw.
Not in pads, not in anything.
Yeah, but
These
they're
are
not
all
showing
those,
any highlights of the other guys.
So, but back to my point, though, we don't know what's going on in practice. We have no earthly idea what's going on in practice. And Zach Calzada didn't know they were going to go get Robbie Ashford as well. Wasn't that after Calzada had already committed to coming to Auburn, and then we go and get Robbie Ashford?
They both kind of came in at the same time.
Around the same time.
They went through spring. Of course, Calzada didn't take any snaps because he was hurt.
Now, there was no part of me that thought Zach Calzada was a better option than Robbie Ashford from day one.
Well, and Robbie Ashford was a target for Auburn early on. He made multiple visits, and a lot of people felt like it was going to be between Auburn and Ole Miss, if you'll remember. Ends up going to Oregon. Mario Cristobal does what Mario Cristobal does, and sucks guys in. And he got beat today on one. But, most of the time if Mario Cristobal's in the Final Four on a recruit, he wins more times than not. So, but he got 2 or 3 guys to go out to Oregon from Alabama, and they're all back here now. So that kind of plays.
We got 2
well.
of them.
Yeah, we got 2 of them, Jason Jones and Robbie Ashford. Got 3.
Got 3, DJ James.
Got DJ James. So got 3 Oregon players. But you're right. I mean, really nobody has an opportunity to go to practice anymore. Jason talked about it on here. They're very limited in what they can see. And in this day and age, everybody having a phone and video and all this kind of stuff, you try to close things as much as you can. So just from the promo stuff, though, that you saw from the official Auburn Instagram page and Facebook page, is that it seemed like every time you flipped over there, it was Zach Calzada. So it felt like, man, okay, this is where it's going, but it hadn't played out that way. So Patrick said he thinks TJ will be okay. Now, Patrick's been on the TJ train since day one, and he feels like TJ Finley will be fine. And, again, we'll know here shortly, when the season kicks off. Ty said, I predict Tank will have a great year if the line can block for him. I mean, he's poised to do it. Can we have a good balance offense, Randy, to make him have a good year?
I think he's poised to do it, but I think his backup is not far behind him. I think it has the potential with this running back group that Auburn's got with Jarquez Hunter right behind him to be a 1A and a 1B.
Right.
And I think that we all get caught up in a little bit more of Tank than maybe we should and forget that our second running back
Hunter's good, man.
Very strong, has explosive speed, given the opportunity as a true freshman. Now, he had to come in physically prepared to play in the SEC.
And he did.
And he did. And he got a little gimpy at times, but for the most part, when he had his opportunities to make big plays, he did. So I think Jarquez Hunter's primed to have an outstanding season too, a lot like Ronnie Brown did, when we didn't know what we were getting there. We knew he was a big-time recruit, and he had the potential, but all the luster was around Cadillac. I think the same is here. All the luster's around Tank, and I think that we forget that we've got a backup that a lot of people would probably want.
And there's another guy in that running back room, Damari Alston, that has really turned heads.
And none of us know there.
That's right.
We got to see him out there actually on the field and see how he competes against SEC-style defensive players, but we already know Jarquez Hunter.
Oh, he's proven
matches
himself.
up well.
He was an all freshman, and didn't even make it through the season because of an injury. And but he early on proved he's the real deal. And Auburn, a 1-2 punch like that in the backfield, that's definitely a positive. Michael says sounds like they were advertising for Zach to transfer. So, I don't know where Zach Calzada ends up. He may end up hanging around and
may end up playing.
And may end up playing. You just don't know. But just from indications that we heard that he was possibly thinking about leaving. And sometimes that happens. You know, you get somewhere and things didn't go your way, and it's like Gary said this morning, though, if Zach Calzada transfers from Auburn, it's probably time to look at some non-SEC school somewhere else, because, you know, you already tried it twice. It ain't worked out for you. Probably need to get with your family and decide what's your next option.
And I don't mean this in a negative term toward TJ Finley, but if there was ever a moment that you could come into Auburn as a transfer and win the job, it's this year. Because there's enough film to sit there and watch on TJ Finley to know that he's going to have to take his game up tremendously to be the SEC quarterback that we need. I think it's more around maybe he wasn't good enough to beat Robbie Ashford out. And I hope that's the case.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. You look at that quarterback room, and there was no cut and dried quarterback coming in taking over the reins. So, yeah, it was prime time to come in as a transfer. Jason Caldwell up next. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Lake Martin has a new car buying experience. It's the TR Group of Alex City on Cherokee Road. The TR Group has up to 100 late model vehicles to choose from and will not be beat on price, selection, or financing. With the TR Group, your selection and quality is easy and your good credit is rewarded. But we offer guaranteed financing on our inventory because your future is more important than your past. The TR Group, Lake Martin's new standard in auto sales. Located at 814 Cherokee Road, Alex City, USA.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogrooom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Attention! Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with cancer after using Zantac or other heartburn medications for several months? You may be entitled to compensation. Call Zantac Justice now for a free legal case review. The FDA has warned that Zantac and other medications containing heartburn drug ranitidine may be contaminated with cancer-causing agent NDMA. Consult your physician prior to discontinuing any use of medication.
Please call 800-379-5986.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later. How are you? Tell me everything.
Everything's great. I love it here.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
One special evening with 22-time Grammy winner Vince Gill. Saturday, August 27th, 7:30 p.m. Goosh Performing Arts Center at Auburn University. 2-time ACM Entertainer of the Year, Vince Gill, live in concert. On sale now. Buy tickets at the box office or visit gooshcentertickets.auburn.edu.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogrooom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River Region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, 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 Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here. Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee with you for about 25 more minutes or so. Let's go to the phone line. Welcome in our good friend Jason Caldwell from Inside the Auburn Tigers and 24/7 Sports. Jason, thanks for joining us on this Friday.
Hey, guys. How are y'all doing?
Man, we're doing great. Always good to hear from you, and we'll get right down to it. It's game week coming up. Brian Harsin said he will announce a depth chart on Monday. I don't think it's really any secret now as far as the quarterback is concerned. Everything is leading toward TJ Finley being the starting quarterback going into the first game.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I thought, he's the guy that has been the most consistent of the quarterbacks. And, in that second scrimmage, even him and Robbie Ashford were the guys that were getting the bulk of the first team reps, and Robbie Ashford, I think, is a guy that we'll see him involved and getting some reps. I think he's going to have a chance to run the offense as well, and so I think that's what it looks like heading into game week for this team. And you're right, there'll be a depth chart out. I think we're going to see a lot of different looks from this team. I think we'll see some different looks on the offensive line. I think we're going to see 8 or 9 different receivers involved, and obviously playing some of those different guys on defense. So it's going to be a mixed bag, I believe, against Mercer, but I think it'll be TJ Finley to start it off.
Jason, how is Tate Johnson moving to the starting role there at center? It feels like it's his job to lose, correct?
I think so. I mean, Nick Brahms, they still haven't done anything officially announcing anything from Nick Brahms, or he hasn't announced anything, but it sure feels like that this is an Auburn team that is preparing to move on without him at center. And when you do that, you lose 33 starts, and the guy that's played 40 football games. Tate Johnson has worked extremely hard. He's trimmed down. Well, he's about 285, so he's not a big, huge, bulky center, but he's physical. He's worked extremely hard. And now you got to figure out how do you make the calls, the checks, just playing in real time, getting used to that environment. You can simulate it in a scrimmage, but hey, I talk to even high school kids. I talk to those guys, and they're like, well, it's just different when you put the pads on, and you get tired, you'll mentally get exhausted. How do you handle that? That'll be probably the biggest issue for Tate Johnson as they get ready for this game. I think we could see him and Jaleel Irvin, but potentially even Brandon Counston as well. I think that's another place where they might look at some different rotations.
Jason, I can buy into a lot of these receivers, but without being at practice and without seeing stats on the field, can you give me a feel from yourself which ones of these you expect to play well this year?
Yeah, I think we saw at the end of the year last year, Shedrick Jackson finally relaxing and just playing football. I think Shedrick's a guy that's going to be a solid player for this team. I don't think he's a number one, but I think he's a guy that is going to be one of those dependable guys for this team. Javarius Johnson, I think just the opportunity for him. We saw him last year. He was the big play threat for this offense when he was involved. And I think him and Tavares Dawson are guys that you just have to target if you're Auburn. I think those are the kind of players that can have that big explosive play that you need. So I think you look at those guys. Malcolm Johnson has improved. I think you'll see a good bit of him. Coy Moore as well. But Camden Brown's a guy, the true freshman from St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale. Camden Brown's a guy that is old school to me a little bit. He's kind of that dog, got that dog in him, wide receiver. 6'2", 200 pounds. He's physical. He'll go up and get the ball, and he'll have some freshman mistakes along the way. But I think he's a guy that when people see him, I think he's a guy that they'll target when they get him in a game.
I think this wide receiver core's got a lot of potential. Again, like you both said, just haven't had a lot of in-game experience. Shed Jackson really with the most, and I think that's one of the things that's exciting for Auburn fans is to see what this receiving core can do. Let's flip over to the defense. I think Auburn, as you look at it, the linebacking core was a question going in to this season, but by all indications, what's going on in practice and some of those guys really changing their body shape and finally being healthy, it could almost end up being one of the strengths of the team.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, my expectations are that you're probably going to see two linebackers on the field together 85% of the time. A third linebacker, you might see some in short yardage and goal line, things like that. But for the most part, Auburn's going to be like most defenses now. You're going to be playing 5 defensive backs. Your nickel's going to be on the field. And so I think what that does is it just helps your depth when you're only playing 2 guys. So obviously Owen Papo is back. Cam Riley's a guy that I feel like is getting ready to have a really good season. Hillcrest Evergreen, you guys remember, hey, when he's in the 10th grade, they won a state championship, and he was kind of a skinny safety wide receiver guy running around, and now he's 6'4", 6'5", 235, and so he's a big physical linebacker. You got Wesley Steiner and Eugene Asante, a transfer from North Carolina, is in there. Desmond Tisdale, but they built some depth at linebacker. They got some guys that are athletes, and now I think probably the biggest thing is just going out there and playing and getting used to what it's like to play in this league for a season. I think that's the key there. I think it's the key on the defensive line. Can that next crop of guys make it through the grueling stretch that is Southeastern Conference?
Jason, let's spin over, talk a little bit about recruiting. Good get for Auburn this morning with Sorey. Talk about him.
Yeah, DeQuavius Sorey is a really talented athlete. Small school with Chipley, Florida. For those of us who were children of the 80s and loved 80s, football, Ambley, running back at Florida State, was the guy that I always remembered from Chipley, Florida. DeQuavius Sorey is athletic, 6'2", so he's a big kid. I think he's going to be an athletic Seth Williams type of receiver a little bit, and that he's not a 4-4, he's not a burner, but he can go up and get the ball, really athletic, plays both sides of the ball, returns kicks. So I think a really good pickup for Auburn, and a guy that, hey, he's like, I just want to go do whatever it takes to help the team, and you always like to add those guys. So, yeah, I think another good pickup for, when you look at this wide receiver group, it's gone from being a huge question mark. There's still questions, but I don't question the athletic group and the depth at wide receiver now, especially heading into next year.
Well, Jason, always good stuff, my man. We appreciate you taking time out to join us. Have a good weekend. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. That's Jason Caldwell with Inside the Auburn Tigers and 24/7 Sports. We'll take our final break. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare. Serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around. Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, final segment of the program. If you got a comment or question, feel free to get it in. We'd love to hear from you here on the Blitz. You can call us as well. Some other comments coming in. Kyle said, good luck tonight, fellas, at the Coach Horn Bowl. I'll be tuned in. So, yeah, Benjamin Russell Central Clay tonight. Should be a fun one. Always good to go see Coach Horn. Really good friend of ours, one of the best coaches the state has ever had, and still coaching, and one of the top 3 all-time in wins. So you always know what you're going to get when you go play one of his teams. A note for people locally around here, Dadeville Reeltown canceled, believe it or not. That's a big rival game. And if you're going, what in the world? Some drainage issues at the field in Reeltown. So they just felt like the field was unsafe to play on. So they are moving that game to later in the season. So,
I mean, if fields don't drain well, it's tough, the amount of rain that you've had this week.
Well, if you get out there and it's a slop and you tear it up,
well,
then the field's unplayable for the next few weeks.
You know, I got a story around that I'll share. I know we're in our last segment, but my sophomore year, your junior year in high school, in the second round of the playoffs, we played a team up from Dothan called Northview. Yep. And they were very good. They had 2 really good Division I running backs in the same backfield. And so we play them in the second round, and it rains all week. It's like this week. Well, the field at the Sportplex didn't drain well. It was flat as could be. And, I mean, it was a muddy slop fest out there, and they called into the state and claimed that we had watered the field the night before to get it as slow and to slow them down somewhat. And I actually was an office assistant for Coach Salve all during high school, so I had to sit in and listen on him fielding these calls from the state. Yeah. Well, it really was. The field was that bad that night. I mean, it did hinder their play, and it hindered our play too. But during the off season that year, we have to go back in, dig the whole field up, and recrown it and
That's
redo
exactly
the whole
what
thing.
happened.
That's what we did because we did know that it
was a problem.
It was an issue for that game. So I can see where some fields, if they don't drain well, they're sloppy to play on.
Yeah, we got some news coming across, about the future of Alan Green. They're expecting maybe some finality to be reached today regarding his imminent departure. So, again, there are 5 months left on his contract. We kind of talked about it a few months ago that new president in place, he'd already met with the president, they had a chance to sit down and really go back to the table and re-up his contract now, and no news was coming out and nothing had been said. So people started to speculate, and then now some sources all over Twitter. Luke dropped this in there, but we've kind of been on a text thread during the show getting some information from several places that, he could possibly be done at the end of the year as athletic director. So
I hate it. You can speculate on why Alan Green has not been as vocal or out in front or, visibly leading. I've said that I wanted to see him out front talking. He's well-spoken. He's got the look. He's that younger, you hope, dynamic and energetic guy that you can throw out in front of an athletic department and really galvanize the fan base and possibly the recruits and the student athletes. You got to tip your hat to him. We've had some pretty good hires during his tenure. Who knows how Brian Harson's going to turn out, but he's been in the background, man. You haven't seen him really leading. You haven't seen him out front of a whole lot of things, and I've been vocally saying that that's an issue that I would have a problem with.
Yeah, no doubt. We didn't really get a chance to get to our picks. We had a post-spring prediction after we saw spring where we thought everybody was going to kind of fall, and we named those. And then now pre-season, what has happened during that off time to lead us to change any picks or anything like that. I know David and Andy kind of changed theirs based on the offensive line situation and then possibly the quarterback situation. They both lowered Auburn in their picks going into the season. I had Auburn at 6 post-spring. Had Alabama at 1, obviously A&M 2, Ole Miss 3, LSU 4, Arkansas 5, Auburn 6, and Mississippi State I have at 7. I know a lot of people think, man, Mississippi State's supposed to have some high expectations, but just wait and see. We had a guy on from Mississippi State on the show Tuesday night, and, he's pretty optimistic. The schedule kind of sets up for them, but they do have some big question marks in some key positions. So we'll kind of see how that all plays out. But that just happens to be mine. Of course, on the east side, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, South Carolina, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt gets things started in the SEC this Saturday. They play Hawaii at 9:30. So
any time to get them some exposure. It's a good thing.
They know they're not going to a bowl, so they're just going to take a bowl.
Yeah,
start the season.
Can't blame them. And but Vandy is one of those programs that I'm interested in.
Yep.
Because I think we got some kids around our neck of the woods that I would think would be a good get for a program like that. So
it's a good school, man.
No,
it's a great school.
It's one of the best schools in the country.
That's right.
And so I would love to see us. Well, it's not athletically, but buddy, if you
it
can go,
is for baseball.
If you can go and you can get your degree paid for there by playing a sport. Depends on what your expectations of moving on and playing professionally and anything are. But if you can ever get an opportunity for someone locally to go over there and get a degree, I'd be all for it.
All right, birthdays on this day. We'll start and we'll close the show out with our birthdays. Jim Davis. Do you know who Jim Davis is?
Can't help you.
Jock Ewing on Dallas. Do you remember Dallas?
Yeah.
Did you watch Dallas?
Of course I watched
You know
Dallas.
who Jock was? He was the dad.
Yeah.
So Jim Davis died on this day, or died in 1981, born on this day in 1909. Mark Snow. Crazy theme to X-Files. I never watched an episode.
Can't help.
Mark Mangino. You know who that is.
He's
350-pounder that led Kansas to a 12-1 record in 2007. That's
Ate his way right out of the league.
He sure did. Some other ones, Jamal Lewis, Tennessee running back, born on this day in 1979. Macaulay Culkin, you know who that is.
Yep, we all do.
Home Alone, born on this day in 80. David Price, Vanderbilt pitcher, won the Cy Young in 2012, born on this day in 85. And then the Beard was born on this day in 1989, James Harden. So there's you some birthdays. Again, everybody have a great weekend. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Pritchard saying, we've enjoyed it. We'll be out. See you next time.